extreme weather events are happening more, and that's leading to all sorts of different changes in all sorts of different parts of the country. And it's a huge risk to our homes, our communities, and our livelihood.
There's nothing more debasing than having your home and your buildings not live up to what you need it to do in times of stress. Investing in proper preparedness and planning goes a long way in the recovery efforts, and it's by far the most cost-effective investment you can make.
The biggest risks in our energy system are largely environmental, in the sense that the way that we produce and consume energy is not sustainable. But increasingly, we're also seeing threats to the infrastructure, from natural hazards like wildfires and severe weather events, but also cybersecurity and other economic risks.
So how do we prepare for that? How do we make sure that we're ready to deal with those changes and can actually survive them and thrive under those conditions?
Our buildings are not only the biggest contributor of CO2 emissions, but they're also the biggest opportunity to provide cost-effective solutions to prevent climate change. By taking on a deep energy retrofit, you're enabling your building to operate more sustainably every single day of the year, and you're able to cut that rebound time after a disaster significantly. With the General Services Administration, we helped them stand up a program called the National Deep Energy Retrofit. The first tranche of projects more than doubled traditional federal energy savings in projects, from 18% on average energy savings per project to 38%.
I think the reason we're focused on pursuing net zero energy is we believe that it's the future of buildings, but we also believe that it's probably the future of investment funds and ultimately creating profitable real estate. Sharing what we've learned is as or more important than actually creating net zero projects. How we did it, the lessons we learned, what we learned about operating a net zero building, what we've learned about creating leases for it.
So for the insurance industry, there's a real question you have to ask, which is, are you trying to protect homes that are going to fail? And so when we look at things like a zero energy home, they are built better. They are built to be more durable and to protect the home as an investment much better. So the value of investing in building homes right has ripple effects all across the industry. We recently did a report called The Economics of Zero Energy Homes, finding that with new construction, you can actually build homes that meet these standards for just the barest incremental cost, and in some cases, no additional cost at all to the standard built home now. So we don't see any reason why every new home should not be striving to be a zero energy home.
The Lake Christine fire came very close to knocking out most of the main transmission lines that we use to serve the upper Roaring Fork Valley, including the community of Aspen. And so it brought home the vulnerability that that entire community faced with respect to continuity of electric service. One of the things that we talked about during the workshops and the working groups and the convenings that we conducted with RMI was this notion of blue sky and black sky value. The idea that when we make an investment, we typically make it only on the basis of blue sky value, meaning how is it going to perform when everything else is operating normally. And a lot of the resilience building investments, the microgrids, the energy storage, the community energy resources, today those new technologies don't quite pencil out economically if you look at them for blue sky value alone. Similarly, if you make the investment only to use them under a black sky circumstance, when the world around you is falling apart and you're relying on your local stuff, those resources ideally are never used. And so the economic value of investing in those is like taking out a really expensive insurance policy. What you have to do is combine both sets of values in order to motivate those investments today. And I think the thing that struck us was that the more efficient our building stock, our vehicle stock, our other sort of energy consuming infrastructure is, then the less of a burden we place on the generation resources of power that we need to somehow magically conjure up, if you will, in the event of an outage.
Continuing to buy and develop real estate the way we're doing it today is a riskier proposition. I think what we've done is we've created systems that will last longer, perform better, at lower operating costs over a longer period of time, especially as we show people how to do it and show them how to reduce their risk.
The National Institute of Building Sciences in 2018 released a study that said for every dollar spent on disaster preparedness and mitigation, it avoids the need for $6 in recovery down the road. That's a really powerful ROI for any risk manager.